Yeah, this thing rolled on its side, for sure. Guys, what's going on? So today we have a new project. This is actually my son's truck. He just picked it up and this truck was involved in a rollover accident. So go ahead and stick around and watch me get this thing back to its pre-accident condition, and I bet you will learn quite a bit throughout this process. We bought this truck sight unseen. Normally, I always go to a preview before the auction just to see the vehicle in person and check out the severity of the damage. In this case, the circumstances did not allow for that. Looking at the pictures, I figured that this truck was probably sideswiped, but now looking at it in person, I can tell that the truck actually was flipped on its side, and that's how it sustained all of the damage. Once we got home, the first order of business was to inflate the tires that were deflated as a result of the accident. I'm pretty sure what happened was this truck slid sideways and hit a curb or something like that, and that caused it to roll on its side. At first, I wasn't sure whether the tires were popped or the bead was just broken and all of the air just rushed out of the tires. These tires got pretty deformed from just sitting in this deflated state for weeks or perhaps even months. Simply airing them up was not going to work. So I figured since I got nothing to lose, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the old starting fluid rapid tire inflating trick, while hoping that I'm not gonna get maimed or killed in the process. Pretty sure my neighbors were wondering what that sound was. The process for the back tire is 100% the same, but I'm telling you, no matter how many times you do this, this last part doesn't get any less scary. So as far as the damage goes, it is basically all on the driver's side. The passenger side is just about mint. There are no dents, dings, or scratches of any kind. So what all that's damaged? Let's go ahead and start at the front of the truck. The first obvious part is the bumper. The metal part of the bumper was bent in to where the tire was kind of almost wedged by it. So that's why last night I had to pull it back in order to free up the tires so I can just take the wheel off the truck. So moving forward, so I guess when the truck rolled, it ended up snapping off this mirror. And as this mirror rolled off, I did make a dent in the fender right here, which is pretty minor, and also it's hard to tell even for me from multiple angles. There is a long dent right along the scrape line. Also, the stuff is pretty minor. Not really sure what the damage to this door just yet, because we are going to have to wash this truck to see what is actually damaged and what is being covered by dirt. This is obviously heavily damaged door. This thing is caved in pretty good. If I put up the straight edge against the door, there should be no gap there at all. But there is a significant gap there. I mean, this door got it pretty good. The side of the cab got scraped up. There's no body damage up top, but down here there is a dent here. There's another dent down here, and obviously those are getting all fixed up. No need of replacing a cab corner because that would be dumb. Once again, can't tell how much damage there is down here because it is all dirty, but I can tell right away there's a little bit of damage to the bedside right here, which is still pretty minor, but more of the severe damage is back here. So we got a big dent in this area, and obviously all of this got pushed in by a good amount. And also this bumper got folded and pushed into the bedside and put a pretty good sized dent in there. Now, if this wasn't a shop setting, this entire bedside would be getting replaced. But since I'm not a shop and I'm trying to save as much money as possible on this build, I am gonna go ahead and get everything fixed because my time is free to me, and in the end it shouldn't take me that much more time to get all of this fixed over having to replace this entire bedside, because there are a lot of spot welds that need to be drilled out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. Things that you see right away is we got both side curtain airbags that popped, so they will need to be replaced. Both of the seat belts on the driver and passenger side are locked up, so they will need to be replaced also. And later on I will be reprogramming that airbag module to clear all of the crash codes. All in all, the truck is really clean, in great condition. A lot of the times you can see that there's damage to the driver's seat when there's quite a few miles been put on a vehicle. But this seat has minimum wear and it's in good condition because this truck only has 41,000 miles. It looks like it was possibly owned by an elderly person because usually people after they retire don't drive a whole lot, so that's why this truck only got 41,000 miles in 12 years that it's been on the road. Another thing I forgot to mention is we are missing a running board on this side, so it looks like it got torn off, but the good thing is after it got torn off it ended up in the back of the bed. It appears to be in good condition. The only thing is it looks like the riv nuts were pulled out of all of the holes, but I think I have a solution on how to fix that, and that will come later in the videos. A couple other highlights of the truck is it's nice that it came already with some spray and bed liner applied, so that's one less thing we got to do. And also it's got this Truxedo cover, so it basically stretches out, locks in the back, and also it's got a long Velcro strip running all the way up and down, so this way it stays in there nice and secure. So it's basically like a canopy, only a low profile. It's pretty nice since it will keep things contained and dry in the back of the truck, and freebies like these are always welcome. So first order of business is let's get this thing cleaned up. The rear of the truck got hit in such way to where if you look, the very bottom of the bed skin got pushed under the tailgate, and at this point I can't even open the tailgate because it gets caught right in that area. And then if you come up top, I can fit my fingers right in there, so the gap is about an inch or so wide, and it's supposed to be much smaller, just like on the other side. So I think I'm gonna start my pull down here, and as the metal comes out, I'll be able to free up my tailgate so that way it'll be able to open. And also at the same time, enough of the metal will come out to where I'm hoping it'll twist the whole bedside back into its original position, so this way this gap would get closed up. Since the taillight opening is too small and I can't exactly get a hammer in there to take a swing, I'm gonna use this pry bar to hopefully push some of the bedside skin back out, and at the same time I can also start pushing some of the larger dents back out as well. Since the tailgate was still wedged in, I figured that if we unbolt the tailgate hinge, we should be able to get this thing pulled. Alright, for the ease of access, I went ahead and took the rear bumper off, and we can really get a pretty good idea as to what's going on. This entire area is supposed to be vertical, just like the good side, but it's not. It's actually turned this way because all this got pushed in, and naturally as this went in, this entire side ended up following it. We got a little fold right here, another little fold right in here. But as I'm making a pull and all of this metal going to get pulled back out this way, all of this will get pounded back in, and hopefully this vertical line will come back enough. For light pulls, I like using a come-along. It makes pulls such as this one real quick and easy. And I'm going to pair it up with this sill hook. As you make the pull, it is very important to stress relieve the metal with a hammer. As I speed up the video, you can really see how well it works. So we did make some progress last night. It started getting late, so we kind of wrapped things up. And this is the next day, and let's see kind of what happened. So I made a pull, just basically got this lower area pushed back. I was able to hammer down this high spot, and this whole side of the bed did end up rotating. So now let's go ahead and throw the tailgate back on just to kind of see how well everything looks. So let's go ahead and take a look at our good side again. So the gap is nice and tight, and on this side it is nice and tight as well. So that is starting to look really good. And we actually do have a gap down here now. Obviously, all of this will need a lot more work to be perfect, but it is starting to take shape. In the next video, with the help of some hydraulics, I'm gonna work the metal of the bedside back into place and also get the bedside metal worked with my spotter to get everything ready for body filler and paint. So make sure to stick around for that video, and in the meanwhile, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next video here real soon.